Today I fractured my spine while snowboarding. It was a compression fracture. So basically, one of my discs got crushed. And so now it's sort of like a soda can. We'll give an analogy of a soda can, right? You have a soda can that's standing upright, and basically the force came down like this, and it crushed it from the top down. But I feel happy. I probably blacked out for like a minute, and I was confused. I thought I got railed by someone else. I thought somebody else T-boned me or something. Like immediately after I got the concussion and everything, I was confused and I thought somebody T-boned me, because I fucking I just lost it out of nowhere. And then eventually I finally came to my senses and I realized, oh, it was me. It was me. I'm the one who fucking broke my own spine. I sent it on a jump that I was not qualified for. And so I landed on my ass, and then my back, my lumbar and thoracic spine. So I landed on my ass, and then the impact of hitting the floor crunched my, so if this is my entire spine, it crunched it, so it rounded my back forward like this, and then the discs, right, each disc, basically from this sudden rounding of the back, it basically crushed the discs together, and I got a compression fracture on my T11. But yeah, what am I making this for? Well, I don't know, I feel good. This accident was sort of it was a reminder for me to sort of realize, what am I stressing about? What is there to stress about? Because that accident sort of just put it into perspective. So I got x-rayed and everything, and then the doctors cleared me because the injury wasn't that bad, thankfully. But my friend insisted on driving, even though I insisted that I could drive perfectly fine. It's just discomfort in my back when I try to round forward. But on the way home, I was, playing my music, singing along, just vibing. I just felt at peace. And something I noticed, my friend driving beside me, was that he wasn't. He was sort of angry at the traffic, what the fuck is this guy doing? Why is this guy doing this? And why is the traffic jammed up the ass like this? And normally, on a typical day, I do that too, right? We all do that to some degree, right? But others do it more than others. But we all complain about these trivial little things. And I guess this injury put it into perspective, I guess. Because for the few hours that I was... So I remember getting the injury, right? I hit the ground and I couldn't breathe. Like, I literally couldn't breathe for like 20 or 30 seconds. And finally, when I did catch my breath, I was just completely out of it. So the ski patrol, you know, the people in red, the medics, the first aid people, they came and they put me on one of those spinal boards, right? And they hauled me all the way down and then transferred me into an ambulance, and then I got transferred into a hospital. And while I was lying in that hospital for about 3 hours or so, waiting for my x-ray. See, I just caught myself. I'm like, why the fuck is this guy in the left lane and going this fucking slow? And it's, I don't know, when you catch yourself and you sort of step out of being who you think, identified with who you think you are as the person who's being slowed down by some idiot in front, you sort of laugh at it. And that's exactly what the accident made me realize. I was I'm not paralyzed, obviously, but I was artificially paralyzed, right, on that spinal board, because the whole point of it is you can't move, right? They have to stabilize your spine. And while I was being dragged down of the mountain, and then when I was in the ambulance, when I was lying on the stretcher waiting in the hospital, all of those 3 hours, I felt at peace because I lost control. And that's the ironic thing, because so often we're so busy clinging onto control, trying to control this and control that, right? You see a guy in front of you going super fucking slow in the left lane and you just want to... It's like, when you're out of control, you're just pissed, right? We constantly want to be in control because it scares the fuck out of us when we're not, right? But while I was getting back to the story, while I was lying on the spinal board, in the ambulance, on the stretcher in the hospital, my mind was calm. It wasn't running like it always does, trying to control things, trying to manipulate things, trying to conform things to my will. I was just lying there, not trying to do anything. Because I gave up the control. And I felt like there wasn't a thing in the world to stress about. Neither was there anything to do. I was just there, powerless, physically speaking. But mentally, I felt like I felt unstoppable. And what I come back to time and time again is this realization that it's only when I realize that what you get is what you ask for. In the sense that if you are the angry driver tailgating the guy in front of you who's going really fucking slow, then even though you will rationalize to yourself that objectively this guy in front of me is a fucking idiot, but without realizing, you are the one that's creating that scenario. Because you see, right, this goes fucking to yin and yang, right? Taoism, duality. Polar opposites create each other. And by you being that angry driver tailgating the guy in front of you, you are, by necessity, creating the other pole, right? And so you're going round and around. And think about all the other areas in your life where you do this. Like, we all have certain things that just tick us off, right? But without realizing it, we are the ones that are attracting those situations which we hate so much into our own lives, because we are the ones creating the polarity, right? If you don't stand here in this strong contempt or hatred for a certain thing or person or circumstance, then when this circumstance happens, you won't be attached to it or identified with it, right? It's only when you are strongly against something that someone else is strongly for something, right? You see this in politics. Why do you think we have such a gigantic political divide right now, right? You're watching it. It's because the right is creating the left and the left is creating the right. And the more radical the left gets, the more radical the right gets. The more radical the right gets, the more radical the left gets. It's really that simple, but we don't realize, right? Because we're stuck. We're stuck here or we're stuck here. We're stuck in our own paradigms. And the stronger we try to insist on our own paradigms, the stronger the other side's going to resist and insist on their paradigm, right? We don't realize we're trapped in a model of reality. And we're completely blinded that there's more to reality than this and this, right? What about this? Ow. Yeah. So that's some deep philosophy from a spinal injury. It's funny how it takes a negative event like this for you to make a realization that you think it's liberating. But what's crazy is that oftentimes it takes a shitty ass situation like this in order for us to realize, which is, that's the funny thing, right? Because every moment we have the opportunity to see this fact, and yet we're so caught up in our identity and who we think we are and who we think other people are, that we forget this principle of yin and yang. Anyways, I am home now. Oh, you know what's sad? Doctor said I should give like 6 weeks to heal. And the only thing that I'm disappointed about is that I can't train. Well, I'm gonna try to train, but yeah, we'll see how it goes, but can't be losing these gains, man. Got my hospital wristband here. Yeah. Anyway, that was a profound rant from a spinal injury. Life's crazy. Catch you later. Yangin's out.